I'm about to tell you, it's not just a story, it's what happened to me. And honestly, it changed everything. My whole perspective on reality, on what's out there. If you're into true horror, the kind that digs under your skin and stays there, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe because trust me, you won't want to miss what I've got coming next. You know, for a long time I was a skeptic, a complete dyed-in-the-wool, show-me-the-proof kind of guy. I'd watch all these paranormal shows, you know, the ghost hunters and stuff, and I'd just roll my eyes until I found myself in Adams, Tennessee, and then everything changed. So my name is Antonia Romeo, and about 2 years ago now I was working on this freelance photography project. I'm a landscape photographer, right? And I had this idea for a series on historic American landmarks, rural ones, you know, the ones with a bit of a story behind them. And that's how I ended up in Adams. Specifically, I was there to photograph the John Bell cabin. Now, if you know anything about American folklore, you've probably heard of the Bell Witch. If not, well, lucky you, I guess. The short version is, it's this infamous haunting from the early 1800s. A family, the Bells, were tormented by this unseen entity. It started small. Strange noises, things moving. But then it escalated. Physical attacks, disembodied voices, all kinds of truly terrifying stuff. It's one of the most well-documented cases of poltergeist activity in history, supposedly. I went in, you know, with my usual scientific mindset like, okay, cool history, atmospheric cabin, great for photos. I booked a little Airbnb nearby, a renovated farmhouse, actually just a few miles from the actual Bell Witch cave and the old Bell property. It was charming, rustic, exactly what I was looking for. Peaceful, or so I thought. The first few days were normal, exactly what I expected. I was out early, taking shots of the misty mornings, the rolling hills, the old cabin. Coming back to the farmhouse in the evenings, I'd cook dinner, edit photos, just chill. But then, you know, things started, subtly at first. It began with sounds, just faint ones like a gentle scratching at the window late at night. I'd dismiss it, tell myself it was a branch, or a mouse in the walls. Old house, right? Makes sense. Then it was more distinct. A soft whisper, just at the edge of hearing when I was completely alone in the house, like someone was breathing right behind my ear. I'd whip my head around and nothing. Just the silence of the countryside. I started leaving the TV on, just for background noise, to fill the quiet. One night I swear I heard what sounded like a child humming. A lullaby, maybe, coming from the hallway just outside my bedroom door. I froze. My heart just started hammering against my ribs. I lay there, absolutely still, for what felt like an hour, listening. And then it stopped. Just like that. I tried to rationalize it. Neighbor's kid. But the closest neighbor was like a mile away. And it was 2 a.m. I couldn't believe it. I told myself I was tired, imagining things. But that was just the beginning. Then things got physical. Not like directly touching me, but things started moving. Or rather, not moving when they should. I'd set my coffee mug on the counter, turn my back for a second to grab something, and when I turned around, it would be on the floor, unbroken, just gently placed there. Or a book I was reading would be closed and moved to a different shelf. Little things, you know? But too many of them to be coincidence. One evening I was going through my photos from the day sitting at the kitchen table, and the lights, the overhead kitchen lights, they started flickering. Not just a little power surge kind of flicker. This was rapid, almost strobing. Then they just went out. Complete darkness. I fumbled for my phone, trying to get the flashlight on, and as I did, I felt something. It was like a cold breath right on the back of my neck. And a smell. like really old, musty dirt and something else. Something acrid, like rotting flowers. I scrambled, got my phone light on, and nothing, just the dark kitchen. But that smell lingered. It was so intense it made my stomach churn. I ended up sleeping with all the lights on that night, and honestly, I barely slept. I was starting to feel watched, constantly. Everywhere I went in that house, I felt this presence, this cold, heavy presence. It was like the air itself was thick with it. It all came to a head on my last night there. I had packed most of my gear, ready to leave first thing in the morning. I was in bed, trying to read, but my mind was just racing. Every creak of the old house, every rustle outside, made me jump. I had the bedside lamp on, illuminating just a small circle around me in the otherwise pitch-black room. Then I heard it. A low, guttural growl. Not from outside, not from the hallway. It was from under my bed. My blood ran cold. I froze, not even daring to breathe. The growling got louder, deeper, vibrating through the mattress. It was inhuman, like nothing I had ever heard. And then the bed started to shake. Violently, the lamp on the bedside table rattled. The books on the nightstand clattered. I squeezed my eyes shut, my heart absolutely pounding in my chest, convinced that whatever was under there was going to... I don't even know what I thought it was going to do. Just rip through the mattress. I could feel the vibrations, the intensity of it, and then I felt pressure on my legs, like something was pushing down, heavy. I couldn't open my eyes. I was paralyzed with fear. I just lay there, whimpering, whispering, "Go away. Please, just go away." The pressure increased, then moved up my body across my chest. It was so heavy I felt like I couldn't breathe. And then I felt it. A cold, long, bony finger trace a line up my arm, over my shoulder, and then it rested on my neck. Just there, pressing slightly. I could feel its ragged nail, just barely pricking my skin, and then I heard the whisper again. But this time it wasn't faint, it was right next to my ear. A raspy, ancient voice full of malice and something else. Something gleeful. And it said, so clearly, so chillingly, "You are mine." Now, I screamed. I don't know if it was a real scream or just a sound in my head, but I screamed. And in that instant, the pressure vanished. The shaking stopped. The growling ceased. I lay there, gasping for breath, eyes still squeezed shut, for what felt like an eternity. Finally, I forced myself to open my eyes. The room was still, quiet. The lamp was still on. Nothing was out of place, except for me. I was shaking uncontrollably, drenched in sweat. And on my neck, where I felt that finger, there was a faint red scratch, just a single thin line. I didn't wait for morning. I threw my remaining stuff into my car, left the key on the counter, and just drove. I drove straight through the night, not stopping until the sun was high in the sky and I was hundreds of miles away from Adams, Tennessee. I haven't been back. I couldn't. That experience, it broke something in me. Or maybe it opened something. I'm not a skeptic anymore, that's for sure. I see the world differently now. Every shadow, every unexplained sound, they hold a new meaning. I get chills just thinking about it. Sometimes late at night when the house is quiet, I still feel that cold breath on my neck. And sometimes, just sometimes, I hear a faint, almost imperceptible whisper. And that's my story. The Bell Witch, or whatever it was that found me in that house, it left its mark, a permanent one. What do you think happened? Have you ever had an experience like this? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to come back tomorrow at 7 p.m. for a brand new episode. You won't want to miss it. Until then, sleep tight.